Tonight, a surf tragedy unfolding on the Mornington Peninsula. 1 dead, 5 in hospital after a group was washed off rocks. Details live. A survival miracle after a truck plunges 20 metres. The cabin crushed, leaving a truckie trapped for hours. A dramatic arrest after witnesses take action to end a carjack nightmare in Mill Park. A former soldier accused of staging a bizarre hold-up with an assault rifle to find his cat. The Melbourne GP postponed as Australia faces questions over the AstraZeneca rollout. Have we backed the wrong vaccine? And a backlash as one of our best-loved brands takes a new name.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Mike Amor starts now.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news on a surf tragedy on the Mornington Peninsula. Cam Bowe has the latest details. And Cam, 1 person is dead after a group was washed off rocks.
Mike, this emergency took place in a heartbeat. The major response by our emergency services is still ongoing as we go to air. 1 person is dead, 5 others have been rescued. We know that they'd been on rocks at Bushrangers Bay. They were hit by a big wave and washed into the surf. The life-saving Victoria helicopter, the police air wing, the air ambulance all responded to this situation. They were able to rescue 5 people, but 1 person has drowned. This is a beach which is not patrolled by surf lifesavers. It's renowned for big surf and strong rips. This is in fact the 2nd helicopter rescue at this location in less than a week. Unfortunately, on this occasion, 1 person could not be saved. 5 others are now in hospital, Mike.
Cam Bowe with that developing story. Thank you. A truckie has somehow survived a 20-metre plunge after his rig crashed off the side of the Calder Freeway. The driver was left trapped inside the crushed cabin, but incredibly escaped with only minor injuries.
20 metres below a gaping hole in the guardrail, the 10-tonne trailer of a prime mover. Its cabin crushed, trapping the driver inside.
I've been doing this job 29 years and I've never seen such damage to a prime mover before where a person has escaped serious injury.
The 36-year-old man was driving the empty chicken truck northbound when he clipped a pylon, jackknifed and went flying over the edge. The force was so great it folded the truck back on itself, but incredibly the driver survived.
I'd say go buy a Powerball ticket, but I think he's had all his luck.
It was another driver who called 000 to report debris on the road. Police staggered by what they found in the creek below.
Very lucky. It's probably the most luckiest person I've seen get out of a collision, to be honest.
It took almost 2 hours to cut the man free. Once he'd been airlifted to hospital, attention turned to removing the rig. That's proven even more challenging. The Calder northbound expected to be closed until at least midnight. The driver is understood to have fractured his neck and underwent surgery today. It's believed the injury is relatively minor and is expected to heal quite quickly, while the trauma after a crash like this could last for some time. Mike?
Absolutely, Jodie Lee, thank you. There's been a terrifying carjack attempt in Melbourne's north. Cassie Zervos is at Mill Park, and Cassie, residents banded together to stop the offender escaping.
Well, Mike, this is where the dramatic scenes unfolded late this afternoon, and this is just one of the cars that was caught up in the chaos. A man armed with what witnesses described as a tomahawk targeted 2 drivers but failed. He found some success, though, with a 3rd car using a weapon to threaten Nagi Bichet, who suffered cuts to his arm. And that's when locals stepped in to stop the offender from getting away.
So they blocked him in with trucks, cars, wheelie bins, all that, and he wouldn't get out of the car. So the police have come and used their batons or whatever they are, smashed the back window.
The Preston man was arrested here at the scene and remains in police custody tonight, so no doubt a very dramatic afternoon for these residents here. Mike.
Cassie Zervos, thank you. Police claim an ex-soldier dressed in camouflage and armed with an imitation assault rifle staged a bizarre hold-up at a Melbourne animal shelter. He's accused of kidnapping a young worker in an attempt to find his lost cat.
This is the man police say terrorised a worker at the Cranbourne West Lost Dogs home. They claim ex-serviceman Tony Whitman was dressed in military clothing and armed with a loaded imitation assault rifle. A missing family cat is alleged to be the motive behind Monday night's terrifying attack. During his bail hearing, the court heard the father of three pointed the gun at the young worker and said, "If you do as I say and you listen to me, I won't shoot you." It's alleged he used cable ties to tie her hands behind her back before asking, "Where are the cats?" He told the young woman to count to 100 as he ran from the property empty-handed. He returned the next morning to claim the cat. Police opposed bail, arguing Whitman was a risk to the public. They told the court they had seized 3 weapons in raids on 2 homes and that he had more weapons on order that were yet to be delivered. The magistrate agreed with police and bail was denied. Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
The Formula One Grand Prix has been postponed until November, but there's no delaying the Australian Open. Melbourne's marked 1 week of 0 local COVID cases as concerns grow over the decision to allow more than 1,000 tennis players and officials into the city.
2 weeks after our border shutdown began, stranding thousands, many are set to be left in limbo. In Brisbane, an entire quarantine hotel has been evacuated and hundreds locked down after 6 cases of the highly contagious UK strain were traced to the facility.
What we are dealing with here is something that we've never had to deal with before.
Despite many Victorians not being allowed home, hundreds of tennis players and officials will start arriving tomorrow for the Australian Open.
We've also got a responsibility to protect our incredible major events calendar.
If we've got the political will and the know-how to hold a major sporting event, then why aren't we doing a little bit more to help people who are stranded across the border to get home in a safe, managed way?
While the tennis will go ahead, the Grand Prix has been postponed until November.
One of the beauties of buying yourselves 10 months is that I suspect in many respects things will look quite different in November to how they look in January.
I hope to be able to stage an event that has the maximum number of fans possible.
But the move will mean disruptions for local sports teams.
Certainly sports like cricket, tennis has a summer season, baseball has a summer season. The guys on the lake, the sailors and the rowers.
Setting up the circuit takes 10 weeks and pulling it down takes 5. If next year's race is in March, there may be no point dismantling grandstands, meaning locals face up to 7 months of disruptions. Chanel Vella, 7 News.
Australia's health chiefs are backing the AstraZeneca vaccine, even though doctors are calling for a rethink because of concerns about the effectiveness of the treatment. They say we haven't backed the wrong vaccine, even though others are delivering a higher success rate.
Held as a beacon of hope, but leaving medical experts divided.
If they keep pushing the AstraZeneca vaccine, they may not achieve herd immunity.
Some calling to pause next month's planned rollout and pivot to more effective vaccines or risk rolling pandemics.
There's going to be an even bigger blowback from the community if that happens. It will be swift, it will be sharp and it will be merciless.
Late-stage trials show the AstraZeneca vaccine is 62% effective after 2 full doses, up to 90% for patients given a half dose, then a full dose booster. But the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines up to 95% effective. Yet Australia secured more doses of AstraZeneca's than any other.
It is very effective against severe illness. It will save lives.
The nation's chief medical officer fiercely defending the government's strategy to lock in nearly 54 million doses of AstraZeneca's, 51 million from Novavax and 10 million from Pfizer.
It's not whether one is better than the other. What do we have available? We have the AstraZeneca available for the whole country.
We do seem to have put too many eggs in one basket.
AstraZeneca's is the only vaccine being manufactured here in Australia, and if approved by the regulator, will be the quickest way to immunise as many Australians as possible, with the limited Pfizer doses to be set aside for the most vulnerable. 25 million doses of other vaccines could be purchased through the COVAX agreement, as negotiations continue with a dozen other companies.
So we'll take the best possible advice, as we've done all the way through.
Confident Australians won't miss out. Olivia Leeming, 7 News.
There's growing pressure tonight to get city workers back into the CBD. Christy Mayer is in Burke Street. And Christy, we're hoping for good news tomorrow.
Mike, thousands of businesses are depending on this for survival. Office workers make up about half the city's population day in, day out, so their absence is taking an enormous toll on the shops and restaurants here. The plan was for around half the private sector workforce to return last week, along with a quarter of all public servants, but that was delayed because of the Black Rock cluster. Pedestrian traffic remains down by 60%, so there's mounting traffic pressure to get workers back.
We feel very positive that we can have workers return in numbers safely.
Watch this space. We'll have more to say about that in the near future.
The Chamber of Commerce is also calling for the rules on masks to be relaxed so workers don't have to wear them inside the office. Mike?
Christy, thank you. Police are searching for clues into the mysterious death of a Shepparton man. 68-year-old Ian McKenzie was reported missing on Christmas Eve. His body was found almost a week later.
You may think it's not important, but for us it's the piece that's missing that's going to tell us where it is he went.
He walked with a limp and was last seen at a hotel in Mooroopna. Donald Trump is refusing to shoulder blame for last week's mob attack on the Capitol, instead warning efforts to dump him could stir new violence. On tour in Texas, the president spoke for the first time since the anarchy as the House prepares for an impeachment vote in the coming hours.
Donald Trump on the brink of an historic vote in Congress.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Set to make him the first ever US president impeached twice.
The impeachment is really a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in the history of politics.
This his first appearance since the speech
I'm going to walk down and I'll be there with you.
That ignited the deadly Capitol Hill riot.
What I said was totally appropriate.
In Texas to sign and talk up his border wall, not a hint of regret or responsibility for the attack on Congress.
We believe in the rule of law, not in violence or rioting.
And brushing off the amendment that might have been used to sack him.
The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me, but will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration. As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for.
His Vice President Mike Pence then ruled it out, saying, "I will not play political games at a time so serious in the life of our nation." So impeachment moves ahead.
Donald Trump should not hold office one day longer.
At least 3 members of the president's own party now say they'll vote with the Democrats.
Free speech is under assault like never before.
And so once again, the White House is tonight heavily fortified ahead of Joe Biden's arrival here next week. The threat's not over here in the nation's capital. Police are bracing for more trouble. And today, the FBI had this warning to those who stormed the Capitol.
Agents from our local field offices will be knocking on your door. In 6 days, we have opened over 160 case files, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
The Bureau says the day before the attack, it had intelligence a war was coming to the Capitol and warned police. Now warning of chilling new threats, private chat rooms and plans for future attacks. In Washington, D.C., Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Another of Australia's best-loved brands has bitten the dust, the latest in a growing list of names deemed politically incorrect. Coon Cheese, named for its American creator, will now be known as Cheer Cheese, a move the company says it had to make, but not everyone is happy.
It's a fromage fury that's forced a total name change for a big brand almost a century old.
All around Australia, people love that great coon taste.
The taste may be, but the name is now on the nose and will be no longer after a campaign to rid our shelves of the label deemed too much like a racial slur.
I saw it as an insult to people of colour, particularly First Nations people.
It was actually named after American cheesemaker Edward Coon.
It was important for us to understand that name did not please other consumers.
The makers ran focus groups for 6 months to come up with a new name, Cheer.
They told us they wanted a name
that reflected those everyday moments when enjoying our cheese.
Coon is just the latest corporate rethink. Other names gone for good include Redskins and Chico's, while in the US there's Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, Eskimo Pies, Dixie Beer. As the list grows, experts say the change is a huge risk for the company, dumping such a well-established brand. But it had little choice. So sensitive is the name-changing process that they are certainly not rushing it. Coon will only disappear from our shelves and become cheer in 6 months' time. Evan Batten, 7 News.
Celebrity chef George Calombaris has sold his Toorak mansion for $8.8 million. The 5-bedroom home went on the market when his hospitality company was engulfed in underpayment scandal. Calombaris bought the home 8 years ago for almost $5 million. It was sold to a Chinese businessman. Former Australian cricket captain Steve Smith has been rocked by new cheating claims, saying they've left him disappointed and unable to sleep. Coach Justin Langer is backing the star batsman against the allegations, dismissing them as ludicrous.
Before heading to the Gabba to prepare for the series decider, Justin Langer went into bat for Steve Smith.
I literally cannot believe some of the rubbish I read about Steve Smith. Anyone who suggests for 1 millisecond he was trying to do something untoward, they're way out of line.
Smith says he's hardly slept since being accused of trying to remove Rishabh Pant's guard marks during the SCG test. I've been quite shocked and disappointed by the reaction. It's something I do in games to visualise where we are bowling, how the batter is playing our bowlers, and then out of habit, I always mark centre.
He does it to help me as well. He's looking about where I should look to pitch the ball.
Batsmen do what's known as taking guard when they arrive at the crease. That's putting marks on the pitch to know where the stumps are. Smith's actions described as very, very poor by ex-England captain Michael Vaughan. Former teammate Darren Goff went even further.
He's rubbing out the markers the batsman had put on to where he puts his bat. So it's plain cheating in my book.
Seriously, I thought that was absolutely ludicrous.
Matt Shervington, 7 News.
We've got an update tonight on suspended Hawks star John Patton. Jackie Felgate joins me, and Jack, he's not well.
Yes, hello Mike. 7 News has been told Jonathan Patton is receiving treatment. Tom Brown has the details. Good evening, Tom. This comes after several women accused him of lewd behaviour.
Jack, Jonathan Patton tonight is receiving treatment in hospital. This comes after being stood down by Hawthorn earlier this week. The allegations have taken a significant toll on Patton. His hospital treatment is what I've been told tonight is a mental health issue that he's faced for some time and does on an ongoing basis. Several women have come forward this week claiming Patton has sent them explicit images and videos and unwanted messages. Hawthorn's investigation, Jack, continues. His career is under a bit of a cloud, Jack.
OK, thank you, Tom. And Mike, later in Sportwise, struggling Ashes pair could be reunited for Australia's blockbuster series decider in Brisbane. Coming up soon.
See you then. Thanks, Jack. Police are putting up $1 million to catch a murderer. Up next, a daughter's emotional plea to solve a baffling cold case after 3 decades of misery.
33 years of hell. My mum is on my mind 24/7.
Plus, how scammers are targeting your hard-earned superannuation. Meet Australia's oldest man celebrating birthday 111. Giant robots are about to take to Melbourne streets at Life Sneak Peek coming up. And new help to find what you want in supermarkets. The Australian innovation to make grocery shopping easier. A special consumer report coming up later.
What is your emergency?
The dam broke. Help! 911, The Mudslide. New in 2021 on 7.
Give your summer a twist with everyday rewards. This week, spend $10 on fresh fruit and veg in a single transaction and collect 5 times points on your total shop. Simply shop and scan your card at Woolworths. Boost online now. T's and C's apply.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Our biggest sale of the year with savings across a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Scarlett January sale. On now.
Hi, I'm on a mission to get Aussie families eating a better brekkie, so I'm here with the Fox family. So Emma, sugar, any idea how much your kids eat a brekkie?
I try to make sure it's not too much.
It's tricky. Some popular cereals are over 25% sugar. That's more than a quarter of the cereal.
Wow.
Well, the good news is Weet-Bix is low in sugar and full of whole grain goodness. So let's make an Aussie classic with a twist. Just add fruit, nuts and seeds.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah.
For a better brekkie, it's got to be Weet-Bix.
Duck Fresh Discs, now bursting with fragrance.
Well, it does smell quite nice.
Boom! Freshness explosion.
Look, with new odour neutralising technology, Fresh Discs don't just mask odours, they neutralise them. Fight stains and freshens, flush after flush.
Boom! Best smelling bathroom ever.
Look, it's not rocket science, it's duck science.
SC Johnson, a family company.
Let's get to work. James Jacks, will you look at that?
I told you to pay attention to the road.
Clearly this wasn't my fault. Maybe not, but you've taken a wrong turn on this one. Your insurance policy's monstrous.
You know, if you had Budget Direct car insurance, you'd get a hire car while yours gets repaired. And you could save hundreds.
Are we there yet?
Not at fault. Get a hire car while yours gets repaired. Just give us the other driver's details. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Over 30 years of doing what we do. The reason why we sail? Well, it starts with you. The trips you take to your favourite places. The connections you make with familiar faces. All of the memories, every fairy tale. It's because of you. It's why we sail. Sea Road Ferries.
There's a fresh warning tonight over superannuation scams which have skyrocketed during the pandemic. The Consumer Watchdog says it's received 1,200 reports last year. That's an increase of more than 300%. Many involve scammers phishing for account details via text message or offering gift cards in exchange for personal information. The ACCC says never give your details over the phone and, if in doubt, contact your fund directly. $1 million reward is being offered over the brutal murder of a grandmother more than 30 years ago. A one-time suspect is dead, but cold case detectives are convinced that the case can be solved.
It's 33 years since Glenda found the battered body of her mother.
33 years of hell. My mum is on my mind 24/7.
Recently retired and near deaf, Kathleen Seravino was bashed to death during a suspected burglary at her Ballarat home on New Year's Eve 1987. $1 million reward is now on offer to those with knowledge of the savage killing.
We absolutely believe that this case is solvable.
A male and a female were spotted near the mother of three's home on the night she was killed. In 1991, a man charged with the murder of the 70-year-old avoided trial after a key witness withdrew their evidence and the charge was dropped. Craig Measures died 3 years ago and remained a person of interest. Cold case detectives are exploring if there was more than one killer.
We firmly believe that there are other people in the community that were potentially involved or certainly know what happened.
There could be some relief for those who have been sitting on the deadly secrets for 33 years. Possible immunity from prosecution as part of the reward offer. A deal that would give the family of Kathleen Seravino some chance to ease their heartbreak.
It's broken us up as a family. It's all about mum. We need mum to be at peace.
Cameron Bowe, 7 News.
A man is in hospital after jumping onto a stranger's car. It's believed he was involved in a fight, ran onto the road and climbed onto the vehicle. The terrified driver then quickly drove off and contacted police. Officers caught up with the man and he's been taken to hospital for assessment. Crash investigators are one step closer to understanding what's happened to a plane that crashed just minutes after taking off from Indonesia. Divers have recovered the flight data recorder from the wreck and handed it over to authorities. 62 people died when the budget airliner went down just 4 minutes after takeoff over the weekend. It's likely to take up to 5 days to download the contents of the recorder. Australia's oldest person has celebrated his 111th birthday. Dexter Kruger worked as a farmer and at the age of 86 started writing novels. He's completed 13 books and counting.
Going? Well, to a great extent, that my writing, every story is a quality story.
No doubt he's marked the big day with a special party at his aged care home. Happy birthday. The weather has warmed up and Estelle Greepink is in Paran tonight checking out some spectacular visitors to our city.
Well, Mike, at 17 metres high, these mammoth installations are pretty much impossible to miss. The space robot Invasion is hoped to bring hundreds of thousands of shoppers to Chapel Street, giving traders a much-needed boost. They're made from recycled industrial waste and workers have been using huge 60-metre cranes to put them in place. Now, their official debut is tomorrow, but they did look great against today's blue skies. In the city from a low of 14, we ended up reaching 27 this afternoon. It was lovely and warm across our suburbs today. Tullamarine got to 34, Yarra Glen 35, and Mike, I'm told the best time to view the robots is actually when the sun goes down, as they'll be putting on a bit of a show.
OK, Estelle, thank you. Just ahead, we have more breaking news on another drowning emergency in Melbourne's southeast. Plus, there's a new push to bring live music back to Melbourne, a multi-million-dollar plan to revive our pubs and clubs. Also tonight, the Australian accused of masterminding a sinister website. And the lost pigeon, finally tracked down in Melbourne, 15,000 kilometres from its home in Alabama, USA.
Seven News brought to you by Officeworks.
School shop's done.
With low prices and great savings, get ready for the best back to school ever at Officeworks.
It all comes down to this.
It's locked in an absolute battle.
Winner takes all. As our Aussies must win to wrap up the series.
Cannot turn away from Test match cricket.
And our superstars are ready to prove we're back to the world's best.
The Smith run machine is back.
But India won't be backing down. Then,
unbelievable!
The best is still to come in the Big Bash. When Melbourne clash with Adelaide.
As good as you'll see.
The final test and the Big Bash, Friday on 7.
The all-new GWM Ute is up for the challenge. Born tough and built smart to give you more. More features, reliability, comfort and safety for less. The all-new GWM Ute. Go with more.
When you update your home's air conditioning, you'll want air that saves energy. A lot of energy. Keep watching.
Absolutely everything is on sale at Freedom, with up to 25% off sofas, up to 30% off furniture and homewares, and up to 50% off mattresses. It's happening right now. Only at Freedom. As the city's rhythms return, its energy beckons. A life where pleasures and connections punctuate each day. Let's celebrate the return of our most cherished rituals and embrace the people whose passion is the lifeblood of our city. Stay close, go further. It's time to rediscover your Melbourne.
Come on, everybody! Clap your hands! Come on, let's twist again, like we did that summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did that year. Do you remember when things were really humming? Yeah, let's twist again.
Give your summer a healthy twist with fresh ideas from Woolworths.
Update your home's air conditioning and save a lot of energy. With Mitsubishi Electric. Works for me.
At Bet365, we're always innovating, creating. It's this constant pursuit of perfection that brought you Bet Builder, Match Live, alerts, and live streaming. It's the reason we're the world's favorite online betting company.
Gamble responsibly.
Emergency services are on the scene of a second drowning in Melbourne southeast. Cam Bowe has the latest details. And Cam, this is unfolding at Listerfield Lake.
Mike, police and paramedics were called to this location shortly before 6 o'clock this evening. They are now treating a male who is in a critical condition. That male has been worked on near the edge of the lake. We understand there are people associated with this male who are at that scene too. Now, this is the second water emergency in Melbourne just in the past couple of hours. At around 3:30 this afternoon, a group of 4 people were washed off rocks at Bushrangers Bay on the Mornington Peninsula. Now, unfortunately, 1 person drowned in that situation. 5 others were rescued from that situation. 2 people tried to get into the water and help those people. Fortunately, they were rescued. They are now on their way to hospital. 3 helicopters were involved in that rescue effort there. But unfortunately, Mike, as I said, 1 person has drowned in that situation at Bushrangers Bay.
OK, Cam, thank you. A major boost for Victoria's live music scene, with cash being splashed on struggling musicians. New grants are helping pump up the volume on an industry silenced by last year's lockdowns.
2020 pulled the plug on Ella Hooper's glittering music career.
I moved back in with my mum during COVID. Crowds are where we make our money. No longer, we don't make much money through the sale of our music.
But the show can now go on for the Killing Heidi frontwoman thanks to a state government grant. The ESPY, like many venues, languished during lockdown. It's received a $100,000 lifeline.
It's just really allowed us to sort of open up the doors for those artists and really, really invest in them.
And with music, we have hope and it keeps us going.
There's more grants on offer, worth $2.5 million to boost an industry crippled by COVID and struggling with patron restrictions.
We want to see 2021 a year where the live music scene in Melbourne rebounds and comes back bigger and better than ever.
The minister imploring local councils to be lenient with noise restrictions. After a Brunswick East pub was forced to axe outdoor gigs.
I'd be hopeful that the council would look at this again and reconsider their position.
The grants can be used to fund a tour, make a new album or video clip. Anyone in the music industry can apply for up to $35,000. Groups are eligible for up to $100,000. Applications open on January 20. Yasmin Payton, 7 News.
An Australian man is in custody in Germany, accused of running the world's biggest illegal online marketplace. The website supplies drugs and stolen data and was shut down as part of a months-long international operation.
German police call him Julian Kay, a 34-year-old Australian accused of being the mastermind behind a sinister site described as eBay for criminals.
It's sometimes shocking how similar the criminal economy is with the legal economies.
Dark Market had almost 500,000 global customers, more than 2,500 sellers, trading drugs along with counterfeit cash, stolen credit card details and hacking tools, with a turnover of 220 million Australian dollars. More than 20 computer servers in Moldova and Ukraine were seized as the site was shut down.
This particular operation was supported by Europol. Australia, the Australian Federal Police played a huge part.
Julian Kay, originally from Queensland, was picked up by officers trying to cross the border from Denmark. He appeared before a judge but said nothing.
The people with the skills to set these sorts of services up are in quite high demand, not for these sorts of illicit services, but it's the same skills needed for running the next competitor to Facebook.
German prosecutors will need to prove the Australian knew he was helping criminals by hosting the site on the dark web. Authorities there say he'll be moved to a prison in coming days. In London, Sarah Greenhalgh, 7 News.
A weary pigeon has found himself on the wrong side of the world. He'd set off in a race in Alabama before making a serious wrong turn and ending up in a backyard near Melbourne.
On Boxing Day, Joe, named after the incoming US president, landed in Kevin Chelly Bird's backyard, tired and hungry.
I crushed up some biscuits, gave it some dry biscuits, and then we went about our way. And the next day, he was back.
Kevin noticed a leg band, Googled the rego, and you could have knocked him over with a pigeon feather.
Registered someone in Montgomery, Alabama that had been in a race on the 29th of October, and the result was missing. So I think we know where it is now.
So Joe's jaunt, most likely blown out to sea during the Montgomery race and somehow making it almost 15,500 kilometres, all the way over the Pacific Ocean to Officer, arriving 2 months later.
Come on.
Right around Australia, Joe's epic adventure was the talk of the pigeon lofts. Local experts say they've never heard of anything like this before. Their theory?
I'd say it's hitchhiked on container ships.
Kevin is trying to contact this mystery marathoner's American owner. How will the homing pigeon get home?
Maybe take him back down and put him on a ship heading back the other way.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Qantas has hit turbulence over JobKeeper. Just Ahead Union claims the airline is taking advantage of workers during the pandemic. Plus, a diver stranded at sea tells how the moment she was rescued was the happiest of her life. The best new tech gadgets in the world. And a cyclist run-in with a roux.
He's played Tiger Woods in the Australian Masters.
Would have topped this moment? No, not even close.
The greatest championship course on the planet.
Holy moly! Extreme family fun is here in 2021.
Mitsubishi Heavy Industries has been recognised by Choice as Australia's best air conditioner brand, and CanStar Blue is having Australia's most satisfied customers. Buy before January 31 and get up to $300 cash back.
Say hello to weight loss success with Jenny Craig.
Now it's even easier to reach your weight loss goals with Jenny Craig.
Start today with our free 8-week membership, plus free delivery, cost of food additional.
So call Jenny Craig now.
Powerboard. Play by your own rules.
The spirited traveller is ready to explore the open road once more. Longing for freedom and to get back to nature, they seek out their own quiet piece of paradise. Rekindle your spirit of discovery. Sail into the Tassie road trip you've been dreaming of with Spirit of Tasmania. Come aboard. Be a spirited traveller.
At Nick Scali, the Ramella Lounge with Chase was $35.90. Now half price $17.95 in a wide range of colours. $17.95. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
At Coles, you can lower the cost of your Aussie barbecues with delicious 100% Aussie Coles beef quick cook porterhouse steaks or Coles brand beef and thyme burgers. Any 2 packs for just $12. Coles, value the Australian way.
Don't run out of data this summer with Vodafone's $30 prepaid plus plan. Get a huge 40 gigabytes total data on your first 3 recharges, then infinite data to browse at speeds of up to 1.5 megabits per second until your recharge expires. You rule with Vodafone.
Unlock your cool on our epic water slides. Unlock your loud and spin out on our thrill rides galore. Unlock your wild and meet Pebbles, our newest baby koala. Fun unlocked. Come by a world.
Harvey Norman Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home with a whole new look for your bedroom. The Astor 4-piece Queen Tall Boy Suite. Huge value, $1,699. Plus, get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
Unions are taking Qantas to the High Court over claims the airline misused JobKeeper and underpaid workers during the pandemic. They're accusing Qantas of manipulating rosters and withholding millions of dollars in overtime.
What this means for individual workers is that they've lost $10,000 or $12,000 each.
Qantas says a court already found it's using JobKeeper correctly. An experienced diver has had to tread water for 3 hours after being swept out to sea off Adelaide. She clung to a torch and thought of her 2 young sons as she waited to be rescued.
I cannot believe this is the boat coming from me. I mean, it was the happiest moment probably of my life, I would say. You know, being saved and you know you'll be saved.
She says she won't hesitate to get back into the water but will never go out in rough conditions again. From air purifying masks to flying cars, the world's best tech offerings are on display at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. High-tech, pandemic-safe designs led the pack, along with cutting-edge health devices.
Since its launch in 1967, the Consumer Electronics Show has had many homes, and this year, thanks to COVID-19, a new one, virtual. The pandemic's also made its mark on new product designs.
We're seeing, technology kind of embrace that and try to help improve our hygiene and our health.
These LG masks have built-in air purifiers, and this Samsung vacuum uses artificial intelligence to scope out the best cleaning path. You'll be able to tap your future fridge, which has UV lights to kill bacteria, to see what's inside and cook meals alongside a virtual chef. Lenovo's smart glasses will show up to 5 virtual displays around you, while Tunable can save you a trip to the optometrist. Just turn a dial to adjust your focus. And speaking of vision, TVs have come a long way from the 1960s best-in-show models.
The way the TV is lit is improved with these new mini LEDs, which are like tiny little light bulbs at the back of the screen.
Some of these innovations are set to hit North America within months and Australia shortly after. But other designs unveiled remain, for now at least, aspirational fantasies.
Like General Motors' vertical takeoff and landing drone or flying car.
It's more about how can we do it safely, how can cars that are in the air communicate with each other.
And LG's fleeting hint at how the world's first rollable phone may look. Gemma Acton, 7 News.
It seems kangaroos can be added to the list of things cyclists need to avoid. This rider had a run-in with a roo on a suburban street. Ouch. He tried to avoid the hopping hazard, but it went headfirst into the front wheel. They both recovered and safely went on their way. That would have been a shock.
How Australian is that?
It is. Lucky they were both okay. Sport is next with Jackie and Jack. A forgotten Victorian opener might have a spring in his step in Brisbane.
Hello again, Mike. Yes, as has been the case all summer, Aussie selectors face some difficult decisions for the 4th and final test. Just who will shoulder the load against the new ball at the Gabba as Lion roars into an elite club? Also, a Big D's recruit finding his second wind as the Saints carry on without a much-loved teammate. Some new tricks for a star young Bulldog, while Port Adelaide keeps the faith with Ken. And NBA stars facing severe lockdown, but there's no stopping King James.
And I had a dream that someday I would just fly away.
Beautiful day. Just something for you to think about.
Escape into a new year with Home and Away. Starts Feb 1 on 7.
Why should Polly want a cracker when he can have so much more? Play The Undoing. See ya. Foxtel, now with voice control.
Did you know that when an ordinary garage door is shut, it's not actually locked? So, to keep the things in your garage safe, you could protect them with one of these. Or you could just get a B&D garage door. With over 60 years of innovation and features like our auto lock system, you can be sure that with a B&D door, your garage isn't just shut, it can be locked shut. So ask yourself, is your garage as safe as can B&D?
2020, you're dumped. Make a date with Beaumonts right now and get 20 to 50% off tiles. Bathroom, kitchen, laundry, floors and walls dumped by a massive 20 to 50%. Choose Beaumonts and dump the prices.
Milk made from whole almonds, blended with Robusta and Arabica beans. For a deliciously smooth coffee kick, try Vitasoy Whole Iced Coffee. It tastes as good as it sounds.
The story of Australia.
In parts, it is painful.
In parts, it is raw.
In others, it's beautiful.
Inspiring, great awe.
It brings us together.
And tears us apart.
We all have our views.
So where do we start?
By listening to each other.
And sharing our part.
We're all part of the story. Australia Day.
Someone's with Alinta Energy?
Yeah, of course. Aren't you?
Yeah, especially with their great energy deals.
Either of you guys seen my wicket-keeping
gloves? Get a great energy deal. Switch to Alinta Energy, supporting your home team.
This Sport Report brought to you by Alinta Energy. Get a great energy deal supporting your home team.
Welcome back. Australia will likely turn to Marcus Harris if Will Pucovski succumbs to a shoulder injury for Friday's fourth test. The Aussie coach landed a few blows of his own today after his side came under fire in the fallout from the SCG draw.
A series decider, Nathan Lyon's 100th test. Headlines would be thick anyhow, but Steve Smith scuffed the SCG batting crease and Tim Payne overstepped as he sledged Ashwin.
Do you still have faith in Tim as the leader? And
a chuckle laced with sarcasm. When his skipper's under siege, Langer shoots, then asks questions.
Yeah, we've got to cut him some slack, surely. Outstanding leader, and will continue to be for some time to come yet. He has my 100% support.
And so does Smith.
I literally cannot believe some of the rubbish I read about Steve Smith.
They're singing from the same hymn book.
Playing under Tim Payne, bowling to Tim Payne is absolutely exceptional. I absolutely love him to death.
Lyon becomes Australia's 13th Test centurion, poised on 396 wickets. This controversy's stolen some of his glory.
I'm far from being done in my eyes. I'm still hungrier than ever. I want to go out there and play as much cricket as I can for Australia.
So do his brothers in arms, Stark, Cummins and Hazelwood, despite a combined 136 overs in Sydney.
They're brilliant athletes. They're very, very determined to win this series.
SCG debutant Will Pucovski, despite a partial shoulder dislocation, is desperate to be there for Lyon's special occasion.
We'll see how he pulls up today. We're really hopeful he'll get up. And if he doesn't, then the obvious thing would be that Marcus Harris would come in as the opener.
India trained today, hoping come Friday they have 11 fit players to start a series decider. Their remaining young quicks all auditioning with verve, keen to step into the large shoes vacated by an injured Jasprit Bumrah. Pat Welch, 7 News.
Struggling batsman Ben Dunk has been released from his contract with the Melbourne Stars despite having a year left on a 5-year deal. The Stars sit second last on the Big Bash table but return to the MCG this Friday night against the Strikers.
Storm is back bowling now and should be available to bowl in the upcoming games, which is great.
Last night, the Scorchers lost Mitch Marsh to a side strain but made it 5 straight wins with a 9-wicket victory over the Hurricanes in Perth. And tonight, straight after the news, it's a top-of-the-table clash between the Sixers and the Thunder. Melbourne's Ben Brown has hit the ground running at his new home to start 2021. The key forward has shaken off a persistent knee injury and is ramping up his workload with round 1 on the radar.
It's the most important year in Simon Goodwin's coaching career, and he's got some help at training. Popular new head of development, Mark Williams, directing traffic. The Demons already pleased with Williams' impact. While Angus Brayshaw's still recovering from foot trouble, virtually the whole Demons side is fit, including recruit Ben Brown, whose 2020 season was ruined by knee trouble. At St Kilda, Dylan Robertson's not training, the 29-year-old considering retirement after heart trouble for 3 years.
He's just, taking some time at the moment, just weighing everything up. Obviously, he's clearly had some challenges over the last few years, and he's got a great family, 3 kids.
Roberton made the All-Australian squad in 2017, but after a heart scare in 2018 against Geelong, has only played 1 game. After another heart episode at the start of 2019, he bravely returned last year, but couldn't break back into the side. At the Dogs, coach Luke Beveridge has plenty of talent at his disposal, including number 1 pick Jamara Ugle-Hagan.
Inside the 4 walls, we're really excited about what the new guys are able to do for the team and what we're able to do around them.
And Port Adelaide's extended Ken Hinkley's contract until 2023.
It's still exciting, it's still great to be part of this footy club, and I'm just honoured to be a part of the football club for longer.
The Port coach also awarded AFL Life membership late today, alongside stars including Tom Hawkins and Jack Riewoldt. Tom Brown, 7 News.
Aussie Alex de Minaur's red-hot build-up to the Australian Open has continued, reaching the final of the Antalya Open in Turkey after defeating David Goffin in 3 sets. De Minaur will now play Alexander Bublik in the decider. Meanwhile, fellow Aussie Bernard Tomic is just 1 win away from earning a berth at the Australian Open after coming from a match point down to beat Perth teenager Christian Skulkate in the qualifiers in Doha. NBA stars are now only allowed to leave their house or hotel to play, train or get groceries as the league scrambles to deal with COVID outbreaks. Ben Simmons shook off a knee injury as the 76ers beat Miami 137-134 in overtime. LeBron James got his Lakers teammates up and about in a big win over the Rockets.
LeBron James. They're cutting up now. They're cutting up now. They're having too much fun now.
The no-look three-point shot was a cheeky impersonation of Warriors star Steph Curry. Manchester United has moved to the top of the English Premier League with a 1-0 win over Burnley, thanks to this stunning goal from Paul Pogba. And Aussie two-time champion Toby Price has been airlifted to hospital after crashing out of stage 9 of the Dakar Rally. He suffered a head, wrist and shoulder injury, including a broken collarbone. And don't forget Mike the Big Bash straight after the news tonight.
Top of the table. Can't wait.
I know, right?
Thanks, Jack. Panic buying, it's something we saw plenty of during lockdown, but a new app could soon put an end to it. The technology developed in Australia helps identify stores which have the stock shoppers need.
Bare shelves can turn into stock aplenty at your fingertips. Instead of the runaround from supermarkets to chemists, convenience stores and service stations, the Essentials Stalker system lets customers know where hard-to-find commodities are, especially during high-demand periods.
It helps me save my time. I don't have to go store to store and look for my things.
As well as pinpointing stores, it allows shoppers to record in the system how much stock is available in different ranges, including food basics, based on your location. Retailers can also post their stock levels on Essentials, so customers can see them in real time and go direct to that store.
It's a good idea to let the customer know we have supply face mask and sanitizer.
The system is free for retailers and shoppers, but its usefulness is dependent on the number of people who go to the trouble of posting correct and up-to-date information on the availability of goods. Helen Wellings, 7 News.
Estelle is next with the forecast. And Estelle, is there more of this warm weather tomorrow?
Well, Mike, in typical Melbourne fashion, 2 days are never quite the same. I'll have the details next.
She's 7'2's fearless detective. Look out! Who doesn't play by the rules. Frankie Drake Mysteries, tonight on 7'2.
This January comes the true story.
She needs a name.
Penguin. Of hope, family, and an unlikely hero.
Thank you. I didn't think I was strong enough.
You're still you, Sam. Penguin Bloom.
Going back to school can be very different for the 1 in 6 Australian children living in poverty. Billy feels like no matter what he does, he'll never fit in. You can sponsor an Australian child today and help give them the school essentials they urgently need. Search the Smith family.
Powerball. Play by your own rules.
As part of Victoria's big build, we're building North East Link. The project's new tunnels, as well as extra lanes on the Eastern Freeway, will make travelling around Melbourne and to the airport quicker and safer. It's the missing link in Melbourne's freeway network. In January, lanes will be closed on Greensboro Road and there will be overnight lane closures on Bulleen Road. Find out if you're affected at bigbuild.vic.gov.au. Authorised by Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Breeze through summer with Australia's biggest fan and exterior sale at Beacon. Shop our huge range of fans plus exciting new designs with 30% off your second fan or exterior item. Catalogue out now.
At Coles, you can lower the cost of your Aussie barbecues with delicious 100% Aussie Coles beef quick cook porterhouse steaks or Coles brand beef and thyme burgers. Any 2 packs for just $12. Coles, value the Australian way.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals.
Light and Easy made it pretty easy for me to lose it. I didn't have to think about it. The weight just kept dropping off.
I was really surprised with the results that I got with Light and Easy, and they do come quickly.
Fast track your weight loss success in 2021 with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jump online today.
Discover the art of simplicity at the King's Summer Sale. Save up to 50% on Australian design. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale ends soon.
Sydney Smash from the nation's capital, Bluey. It's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, it sure is. The Sydney Sixers are flying. Probably the most consistent team in the competition. And the Thunder up the top as well. Brendan Dockett back in their side. 4 wickets the other day, so good pace with him.
Good striking everywhere in this game. You cannot take your eyes away. Sydney Smash, that's next.
This weather report is brought to you by the King Summer Sale. Ends soon.
Hello again. We're in Paran tonight where giant 17-metre high robots have invaded the shopping precinct. And it's been a great day to be out and about because this will be our last warm day for quite a while. In the city, the day was hot and sunny with just light winds. From a low of 14, we reached a top of 27 this afternoon, and outside now it's 25. Tonight it'll stay warm, but at least it won't be as uncomfortable as Monday. The cool change should sweep through the suburbs between 9 and 11 p.m. So at 8 it'll still be 22 degrees, but by midnight we'll drop to 19. Now, while it felt lovely across the suburbs today, things were a lot warmer in the north of the state. Those areas sweltered through their third day of hot temperatures. Mildura and Yarrawonga both reached 40 degrees. So today was a day of severe fire danger for the Mallee, Wimmera and Northern Country districts. On the satellite, and tonight a cold front over Western Victoria will move east across the state. Tomorrow a ridge will extend over Northern Victoria as another cold front crosses the Bass Strait. So tomorrow we're expecting cooler temperatures again, and what a difference a week can make. While we experienced heatwave conditions on Monday, we could actually be seeing snow in our alpine areas by Friday night. Around the nation tomorrow, Sydney set for a storm, a top of 30. Brisbane's looking mostly sunny. They'll reach 31. It'll be partly cloudy in Adelaide. They will stay dry though. And as per usual, there'll be plenty of sunshine for Perth. To Victoria, and it'll be mild and partly cloudy in the south with the chance of showers, while it'll be warmer and more sunny inland. Closer in, and there'll be the slight chance of a shower, most likely in the early morning and then again at night. In the city, from a low of 15, we'll reach a top of 23. To the 7-day outlook, and our dry spell could come to an end on Friday. There could be a shower or two in the afternoon and the evening, and there could be a thunderstorm as well, but any rainfall should only be light. The weekend is looking mild at this stage, a top of 21 for Saturday. It'll be partly cloudy. It's also the same for Sunday, so a much cooler weekend than the one we just had. We'll start the working week with another top of 21 and the cloud increases on Tuesday, but we do start to heat up again by this time next week. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny, a top of 21. But tomorrow we drop almost 10 degrees and from a lower 15 we'll only reach 23. So it'll feel a little cooler if you want to check out the robots here in Paran. From tomorrow, they'll come to life every night at 8 p.m. until January 31st. Mike?
OK, Estelle, thank you. Now let's take a look at what's on Sunrise tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Mike. When you wake up, slash up to $185,000 off your mortgage.
What the big banks don't want you to know and the simple steps to saving a small fortune. That's tomorrow on Sunrise. See you in the morning, Melbourne.
Now, before we go, a sight few get to see. Using special cameras, keepers at Werribee Zoo have been treated to a rare glimpse of two eastern-barred bandicoot babies.
We wouldn't normally see them. They're a nocturnal species and we leave them alone with Mum for the 60 days that they're growing with her.
There are none of the little bandicoots left in the wild on the mainland, making these new arrivals even more special. And that's 7 News. Enjoy the Big Bash for now from the 7 News team. Have a great night.